Okay, this is my casino project, and I guess all let's do is go click run, and I'm using the J option pane for all of this. You get the welcome to the casino message. I'm just gonna go ahead and there we go. Right there. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and select my game. There's roulette. It will introduce you to the game. You have to choose a number between 1 and 36 because that's how roulette works. And I'm gonna go for. I keep on pressing the wrong buttons. And I'm going with. And my choice was 12. The ball landed in 14. And did not win. Okay, so that's the first one. Second game is lottery. Introduction of the game, just explain and it will output my hit. It will also output a whole other ticket, which is the winning. I did not win. You have to get 3 in a row to win that one. A little difficult. And for the last, we have spin the wheel, which is fun. Another introduction. Try to get 100 because that's the winning number. Wheel stopped at 74, not even close. And this one runs 3 times because I wanted to clear the list every time. I didn't win any of those. But that's the game.
As you can see, my strength has increased because I gained experience. And I gotta fight another one of these. And one. And fight another thing. And we'll see who wins. As like sometimes the stats don't change because it didn't actually hit. And I won. It just displayed up there, so I gained some loot and gained some experience. And now it just shows me everything I went through this battle or tournament. Here's what I have in my pockets. I can go back to the map and I can sell these silver coins now. As you can see, when I sell something, everything bumps back up. So now I have enough money to buy the wand, so I'm going to do that. Subtract it from my gold, and now I can switch between the beginner wand and the intermediate wand to change my stats. So obviously I'm going to choose the intermediate one. And now fighting's easier because I have higher attack and higher defense and higher agility. And so now I've won all that. So I sell, you'll see that the beginner wand isn't included in all this. That's so that you can't accidentally like lose all of your weapons by selling them. I just wanted, yeah. So yeah. Okay, so I decided to do a voiceover just to make things easier. I don't know. So this is the very start of the program, and it's just you having a conversation with this character that walks you through the game. So I'm just going to skip through the dialogue. As you can see, it goes through the queue. And here's your choose your character screen. So it gives you a little, it gives you a description of what their strengths and weaknesses are. As you can see, if I move back to one that I've already clicked, it doesn't automatically choose that for me. It has to be 2 consecutive clicks. So I'm going to choose to be the sorcerer. So more dialogue, and this is to walk you through the how to shop for things. So again, I'm just going to skip through that. And this is to walk you through the fighting. So yeah. Okay, and now we're at the map screen. So you can go to dungeon, shop, tournament, tavern. It's supposed to look like a map, except with exams and everything, I don't have time to draw stuff. So I'm going to be working on that after, because I'm still going to be sending people this file so they can play it. So we can go into the tavern and see all these people we can talk to. Again, it goes through the queue of all their dialogue, and it can take us back to the tavern so we can talk to someone else, and then we can go back to the map. And in the shop, we can sell our things like that. So buy that from you for 16. If I click away again, it doesn't just buy it automatically. It has to be 2 consecutive clicks. So do that. I might want to buy the wand, the next level of wand, costs 100 gold. I don't have it, so obviously, well, no, it looks like you don't have enough money to purchase it. So it's not gonna let me buy it until I have enough money. So to do that, I have to go to the tournament. So here's someone that I have to fight. It displays our stats, and I'll go through that fight. So yeah, now we can go into the dungeon, and once we complete this, as you see, I'm much stronger now. So if I complete it successfully, it finishes this, and then we're on a new level now. So there's new things in the shop, new monsters to fight, and new people in the tavern. And before I move on, or before I'm done, I'm gonna buy a potion to show you how that works. So you also got this metal bars from the person that you fought, the last person that you fought in the last thing. So I can fight them. And now I've taken some damage, so I can use a normal potion and it'll it'll increase my health, but not past 20 because that's the maximum health. And I just want to make sure or show that that when you have enough stuff, it like scrolls in the shop. So I'm just gonna spam through this, and then we go back to shop. No, we don't have enough stuff yet. Okay, come on. Okay, that should be enough. So if you have more than can be held, the scroll bar works, which took me way too long. But I think that's everything that can be done in my game. Yeah.
Alright, hello. My name is Jack Claremont. I go to Sturgeon Heights, and my teacher is Mr. Walks. This is my IA I created. It is a platform game. I'll open it here. Sorry, it takes a second. A little slow of a computer I have at home here. Alright, so as you can see, it looks like the old game Mario, and you can run back and forth. I add a little slide feature. I figured that was authentic to the old game. As you can see there at the start, it does create new platforms as you're running, but also it does delete the ones behind you, so you keep storage open when for your processor, so the game doesn't slow down. As you can see when I'm jumping here, there's multiple sprites. I also have the images going backwards, so it's a little more realistic like that. You can see at the top there, as I go through these levels that I pre-generated, not pre-generated, but pre-made to generate randomly, you can see the high score tab goes up. And then also in the corner, I have the name Mario Bros. I just felt like naming it the old game, but also the icon with the mushroom from the game. And so basically what the goal of the game is just get as far as you can without falling in the void here. I'll do that. But as you can see, the high score tab resets when you do that. That's when you die. And there is a die method that I had, which is a wrapper method of the reset method, so that it knows if I was to ever add in the future some file handling to contain high scores, it would be able to basically distinguish you resetting the game to not save that high score even if you were doing well, compared to dying. And then also, as you can see, I have two buttons here. I'll click the R one is for reset, and then if you can hear on my keyboard here, clicking R also resets it too. So there is a few different ways to do that if you'd like, just up to the player and their experience with it. There also is the ESC tab for escape, and it does the same as the key. I'll close it there. But basically, if you open it there and it's working again, it usually runs a little slower on my computer. This computer is about 5 years old, and I have a ton of old games, but that doesn't matter. I made the tab this size just because I thought it was more comfortable. It looks like an old TV in my perspective, kind of like how the old game was, and my client and I discussed that. We thought it was very authentic to how the old game was, and I mean that was the most important part for me, was just creating a real experience to what almost the 80s, the mid 80s was with this game, as it was the most popular game in history at that point in time when it first came out. And so I'll show you a little bit of the code I got going on here, but basically you can see the high score tab. I'll reset it there, but it kind of crawled up a little there. So if you go to game panel, this is where a lot of the meat and bones is to the game. So you can see all of my imports. This is where the linked list and arrays and stuff get created for the game. There's the method for game panel. There's what the buttons are called there, the restart and the close. And then there's where the player is being created to. There's the reset, the reset method. It happens before every game, before the game timer, just so nothing comes up and breaks the game. Then there's the run tab. That basically just distinguishes where you're going to spawn and where the blocks will pre-generate in front of you. As you can see, I called them walls. I like to call them blocks, but I called them walls to be a little more specific. And right here is the reset method. And you can see under it, the wrapper method of death is just, like I said, to distinguish it. But basically, it resets every aspect of it, so it looks like it when you first ran the application. There's the make walls, and so each wall is about 50 pixels wide. And also here's like, each of these little blocks is basically, you can't see it because I took away the colors and added images, which I'll get to. But each of them are the different levels that pop up in the game. And they're a part of what I called the index, so it has a random method up there, right here. and it takes it picks a random integer, and it basically spits out that level. Here's the score counter. It's pretty simple. It just works with that title when you load the game. Might take a second here. Oh, there it is. So when you load the game, there's the title for the high score, and so that basically just adds one every time that one of those gets pre-generated. And then here's how basically Paint was coming. There's the player.draw, and I'll get into that once I get to the player class. Here is the buttons, their fonts and everything. There's that title. It switches it, so it adds the score counter that was beside the index. Here's the key events, so sorry about that. So all of the WASD and all the buttons, I have the ASCII table. Escape tab number is 27 to close it. R is to reset the game. And it just basically pulls the methods up there, but then once you get to player, it does everything like that. Then there's the release of those 4 buttons to control the player. And then here's the close method at the end here. But then getting on into the player, try to shorten this up here a little bit. So basically there's all the imports that I have for this one. And here's like key up, all the keys, all the aspects of the player, their height, their width, like their X and Y, just for collisions detection on the blocks. You can see here, it just basically tells you the speed, the velocity, stuff like that of how the player reacts in the game. And it's a little more of that complicated code there with if statements. But if you get a little down here, here's the collision for horizontal collisions. You can see the horizontal ones are a little different with the X speed and the Y speed compared to the vertical collisions there, which then it uses the Y speed. And it also has like a hitbox, which is a very common term, I guess, in the gaming industry. The camera, which follows the player, it keeps the player at here, I'll load that up. You can see if I hold my mouse here, the player stays on this Y axis the whole time. It just looks a little better in my opinion. I know on the old one, when you would run off to the side a little too much, he would run to the edge, but I just never wanted to add that because I figured it would be a little bit of a minor detail to get into compared to what I wanted to add. I could add it into the future though if I did want. And here's the draw method. So basically these are each image loading up. Like per se, you start in with that one where he's facing the right in a normal state. Then if you're, this goes off of the if statements go off of the keys you're pressing. So you can see key up and key right makes the jump right image pop up. And it's finding it on your computer at the moment to load the image into the game. And then also, if you look over here, it's just the same for the left side. And then if we go over to the walls, you can see the imports there, basic stuff, everything is kind of the same as the player. They basically just work as you don't control the walls. And they don't have their own kind of, you can't control the walls. They're basically the same with collision detection and everything, except it doesn't go off speed. But if I get a little down here, you can see the brick walls never change, so it just has that simple, it's finding that brick wall.png on my computer. And so that it doesn't repaint it, it does have that little method to it. If image is null, then just keep it the same the whole time, because that'll take up a lot of processing on your computer. But basically, here's the try-catch blocks are in the draw method of my renderer, which simplify the game a little more to what I was trying to do. I was trying to create it into a .jar file to be able to send through an email to my grandpa, who is my client, because I feel like he would really appreciate being able to experience the game on his own computer and not just when I show him my computer or sending him videos of it. And so here's the mainframe. This is basically where like the URL is being brought up, first name, middle name, last name. This is stuff we learned this year, but yeah, that's basically my game, where the name Mario Bros was when I said that at the start. But I appreciate you taking the time to look at this. Thank you, and have a good day. Alright, hello. My name is Jack Claremont. I go to Sturgeon Heights, and my teacher is Mr. Walks. This is my IA I created. It is a platform game. I'll open it here.
Hello, my name is Kellen Feasy. Mr. Walks is my teacher, and this is my IA project. As you can see, there is no high score currently in the linked list. I'm going to do a quick run through. Once you have $2, you need $2 to purchase a fruit. And once you have $2, you can click on the fruit and then place it on one of these green lines. And the fruit will start shooting at the humans moving towards it. Now, if the humans reach the end, the game ends. The humans reach the objective, the game is over. If you go to the high score tab, there's now our high score stored. And if I wanted to close out of this, for example, it saves to the actual file location itself. And I can open it back up, and the high score is still there. The linked list also gets sorted in descending order. So the biggest high score will always be displayed first. So for example, if I lose very quickly on this playthrough, it'll be displayed second in the list. So here we have our two scores. Normally, when a linked list is sorted, it is sorted into descending order, but I have implemented code here that it's based off of the clone method found in the linked list class that we wrote in class under Mr. Walks' guidance. It's the same thing, except it just adds to the front of the list instead of the back. Right. Here's the original clone method, and all I've changed is adding it to the front instead of the back, and implemented the use of my own high score linked list length. I'll show gameplay of the fruits shooting the seeds at the humans. They all do the same thing, there's no difference, just in looks. The objective of the game is to stop the humans from reaching the objective for as long as you can and trying to beat your previous high scores. As you can see, I can place different fruits, but they do not have any different abilities or properties associated with them. If I exit out of the game, it does not update the high score or save it, as it only saves when you have lost. So for level builder, how I created the grid that the game is displayed on is I used a method that uses nested if and for loops that makes a JLabel that is a certain size and it keeps adding on to it until I have the 5 by 8 rows and columns that I want. And then I just call to place the JLabels inside as icons. So here's the menu builder class. This is all it is. Here, these are all the classes that we have written in class that I decided to use, as I've written these myself with Mr. Wox's help. They're more personalized for the project, I think. I have, over here, I have all of my classes neatly packaged in all the different packages over tools, file handler, and searching and sorting, collections with the linked list, all the images that I use in my project. I also have global classes, for example, data, which includes the money or cash that is used, the score, the high score linked list. And this is just to be able to transport or pass down data to the other classes easily. I just have to create an object of that class, as you can see here, connecting the parameter to the property, and I can pass down all the variables needed to each class without having to access it as a static method and importing it. Here are all the constants that I use. If I go and delete the high score file from there and I try to boot up the game again, there will be no high score saved. If I click play again and go through it, it will create a new file named the same thing and save it to that.
Hello, this is Thirindu Kotegoda. I am from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and welcome to my photo database. So the first thing we're going to do is select a photo from a file. So for that, we'll go to the Pictures section, and scroll down and select a photo. And then from here, I can type in the keywords piano and enter it in. Then I'll do one more, so I'll type in recital, enter it in. Then from here, you can see that I can also delete the selected keyword, and there's a confirmation message. And then from there, I can save the photo right here to there. And then from here, I can add another photo. And once again, I have to go to Pictures first. Select another photo. How about here? I can add the keyword forest, enter it in, and then save the photo. And from here, we can see that if I search photos, I'll type in piano, then the first photo shows up, and then if I type in forest, then you can also notice here that there is the piano keyword for the photo that we entered in. Then if I type in forest, the forest shows up, forest keyword right in the list. Then if we want, this list has two photos right now, we can delete one of them, and then another confirmation message. And then we can clear fields, and that should be good. Thank you for listening to my presentation.
I'm Jiasheng Wang. This is my IB Computer Science internal assessment. This is a supermarket products sorting software. To enter the product name here, so Apple, and the product number and the price. And we can add this product. We can add another product. We can add another one. Now if we search by the product number, the product corresponding to the product number will be displayed. Now we can exit the software.